Welcome back. Day number 18 of our 21 tips for life transformation in the year of 2021. So today is a subject I'm just massively passionate about, and I've been in the health and wellness profession for the past 15, 16 years, and I just love talking about food and nutrition and things like that. But I find that it gets so crazy, and it's so difficult for so many people because there's so much information. So I'm going to keep it super simple today so that you can actually get results. That's all I care about, right? So today's tip, day number 18's tip, is optimize your health foundation with the 80% real food habit. So optimize your health foundation with the 80% real food habit. So your foundation, and this is the thing, there's thousands of diets out there, thousands of diets, right? You may have tried many of them. And it can get really frustrating because there's this diet, that diet, and this thing. And honestly, most of us don't have the habit of eating that particular way. So we end up giving up eventually anyways, because a lot of people don't really understand how to shift their habits. But one thing that we can all agree on, all of the diets agree on this, it's the one thing that brings everybody together, whether you're in the vegan camp, the keto camp, the low carb, the high fat, whatever it is, whatever your thing is, okay? We can all agree that eating real food, real whole food, and we'll define what that is. Real whole food, 80% of the time, is going to be one of the key pieces of any diet you do. Any diet you do. So that's why it's such a foundational habit to build, and I'm gonna make sure you really understand what that means today and try to really bring it all together as quickly as I can in a very short video, okay? So we'll probably do a big training on this in my Facebook group, but for right now, this is the basics, okay? So if you were to take this and run with it, these are the basics. So first thing you need to know is that we need to just get rid of diet mindset, okay? And just start focusing on eating 80% real food. Most people are just off the human diet. Okay, if you've ever been to the zoo before, you may notice there's signs at the zoo saying, don't feed this animal or that animal or this animal the food that you got at the snack shack. Why? Because it's just not real, and it kind of messes up their system, right? So, but yet it's okay for humans. So that's where eating 80% real food is going to get you back on the human diet, where humans forever have been eating real food, okay? Whether it's plants, meat, beans, whatever it is, right? Real foods, right? Not packaged, processed, multiple ingredients. So when we are talking about real food, what is real food? Like I just said, it's vegetables, okay? In their form, right? You can take those vegetables and then you can put them into a blender and make a smoothie if you'd like, or fruits and things like that. That's totally fine. But it's the real foods, right? And then if you eat meat, meat would be a real food. Now, could we get to all the different levels of the different kinds of meat and grass-fed, grass-finished, wild-caught, all that stuff? Yes, that's not what I'm trying to do in this video though. Okay, I could go for hours and hours and hours, days on these topics. And let's keep it simple. Real food, fruits, vegetables, meat, beans, nuts, seeds. That's real food, okay? So it's like one ingredient foods. And I would even keep it to, if you're eating something outside of that, less than 5 ingredients. 5 ingredients or less. Those are gonna be more real foods. And if you could go outside, if it comes in the form, like if it grows on a tree, a plant, or a bush, there's a good chance that it's pretty good choice for you. okay? So it's real. We're just trying to think real foods. Things that, and I say this to my 7-year-old all the time. I'm like, hey, have you ever seen a cracker bush or a cracker tree or a Twinkie plant or something like that, right? Like, it just really helps people understand what is real food and what is not real food. Now, like I said, it's just 80% of the time. Does that mean you can't have crackers and cakes and cookies? Not necessarily. We'll talk about that in a second, but not necessarily. Like, you can absolutely do those things as long as they're not hurting you. And we'll talk about sensitivities in a second. But let's break down the numbers. What does 80% really mean? What does that mean? Some of us, me personally, I'm not great with numbers. So I did the math before I jumped on this because everybody eats a certain amount of food throughout the week. So I'm basing it off 3 to 4 meals a day, okay? That's how we're gonna break down your 80%. 3 to 4 meals a day. Some of you might eat less, some of you might eat more. You can do your math, but I'm doing the math for 3 to 4 meals a day. So 3 to 4 meals a day would be 21 to 28 meals total a week, okay? And I'm thinking meals as, if you consider a snack a meal, that's fine, okay? 3 to 4 times a day. So that's 21 to 28 meals. All right, those are the numbers there. So that means 80% of those would leave the other 20% would be 4 to 5 fake/processed foods. Okay, 4 to 5 fake to processed foods. So anything that wouldn't grow outside or you could catch or hunt or things like that. That's it. So that's all you gotta think about, right? So if you just do your numbers and you calculate that throughout the week, you could be doing pretty great. And then once you get into that habit, right, and make it a subconscious habit, you're gonna be doing awesome. Now that leaves 20%, right? The 4 to 5 fake foods, right, that you can eat throughout the week. Now, as long as that 20% doesn't fall into categories of what we call sensitivities, you should be totally fine and you will be optimizing your foundational health really well during that time period. Now, what is a sensitivity? What do I mean when I say sensitivities? So this is what I mean. If you eat something that's a fake food or junk food or whatever, and it causes bloating, it causes acid reflux, it causes issues with your bowel movements, if it causes you to feel fatigued or exhausted or tired, or it gives you skin issues, or it makes you just feel bad, right? I could keep going with the list of things, but that's an example of a food that doesn't necessarily agree with you. So it's creating inflammation and it's causing dis-ease in your body. That's it. So that's what I mean when I say sensitivity. So for example, somebody that has an insulin resistance, they have issues with like refined sugar or high carbohydrate food, then that would be an example of a sensitivity. So they gain weight really easily when they eat those things because they have blood sugar issues, right? Or it all breaks down to gut health issues, but we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now. But that would be an example of a sensitivity. Another, like gluten intolerance, dairy intolerance, nuts, seeds, soy, citrus fruits, whatever, right? There's all types of sensitivities that people have. Now, if you're not sure and you don't have any of those things, another one is the pulse test. So if your pulse races after you eat something, there's a good chance that you're sensitive to that thing, okay? Now, if you have questions on this and you want to ask me more questions about after you watch this, feel free to message me, okay? I'll be glad to help you individually. But we're trying to create the mass foundational habit right now. So 80% real food, so that's 21 to 28 meals a week. So 4 to 5 things are eating fake or junk foods. unless they're causing sensitivities, which are going to cause more problems, and then you may have trouble optimizing your health. And that's where, elimination diets and things like that will help, because then you can figure out what's really hurting you and causing dis-ease and inflammation and things like that. So that's that in a nutshell. Now, it's just about building that habit. So this is one habit. However, this one habit has other pieces to it. So when you eat 80% real food, the biggest challenge that people tell me is like, Matt, I don't have the time, or I don't have the money to do that, or whatever it is, right? So there's a lot of things behind that. And it's really about preparing real foods and really focusing on 80% of the real foods. So putting your money towards that, and then, if you have any money left over, then spend the money on fake foods, okay? It's a great way to think about it. So most of our money is spent on foods that are going to feed our body, give our body vitamins, nutrients, minerals, all of the things that our body needs to handle junk foods. Okay, because when you're eating really healthy foods, your body's going to handle junk foods better, which is very cool. That's why it's such an amazing foundational habit, because you're actually going to eat less because your body's happier, because you're getting more real foods into your body and your body's taking it in. Now, we could get into what if you're not digesting the food and all that stuff another time, okay, another day. That's what I use my Facebook group for, is to give trainings each week on this type of subjects and things like that. But this is it in a nutshell, folks. This is the basics. And if you master this one basic habit, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's the basic habit. If you master this basic habit and it becomes a subconscious habit for you, you will do a great job. For most people, this is going to be an amazing thing to optimize their overall health. And that's what we're going for, right? So whether you're trying to release weight, increase your energy, all that stuff, eating 80% real food is the foundational habit of all of that. And then anything else on top of that falls into the realm of sensitivities. All right, so I hope that helps. And I hope this is something that it's just making way more sense to you. And it all comes down to numbers, just basic numbers, and just trying to get real whole foods into your body on a regular basis. So I hope that helps. Keep showing up, taking action, eating real foods 80% of the time. You'll be surprised. You'll get some pretty amazing results just from doing this one habit. So I hope this helps. I will see you all next time for day number 19, and have an unbelievable rest of your day.